Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about problem determination. Now, in terms of problem determination, the first topic we're going to understand about working with logs on WebSphere application server. Now, to get to access the logs on the WebSphere application server, firstly, we need to start the instance. Now, continuing towards our training, which we've done so far, this session is going to be a little different and it may not have the continuity with the previous items because this is taken on a separate timeline. So it's been like quite some time since I launched the course. Now I'm just upgrading it with new topics. So which means that I may not be connecting with the previous topics. So this may be a little isolated in terms of working with this particular topic. So firstly, we're going to start with problem determination. And then and on the first problem determination, we're going to see the logs. Now, I want to know what are the profiles installed. The best way to understand the profiles which you have configured is either opening the profile management interface, or you can actually go to OPT, IBM, WebSphere, App Server, and then you can go to the properties folder. So now this folder should have this profile registry.xml. Now in this folder, you can actually find all different types of profiles which you have out there. So the profile names are defined over here. So this is what we have used for your PBW, DMGR, App Server 1, App Server 2. So this is basically a profile version of things. So here is where the application server profile is. This is a standalone profile. It is built on the app server profile, which is the template which is pointed over here. And you can also see the profile path over here. So this makes it easy for you to understand, because sometimes some companies will not have the profile path configured in the same exact location. So it's always better to watch this out and then get to the folder where this is. So now I'm in that folder. Now let's go to bin and then do a server status to check the status of the server. Let's see if the server is running. All right, so the server status has said that the server instance to be stopped. So let's go and start this instance with start server.sh server 1. Now I'm starting this new session, so that's the reason why we are starting the JVM. And this is going to be useful for me to also showcase you the actual action item, what we're going to do in terms of log analysis. Now, once this opens up, we will be opening up the console for us to verify the logs. So I'm going to use a browser for it. So I'm going to use Internet Explorer Edge. So for browsing this, so let's just wait for the server instance to start, and then we'll figure out the port number and access that using the admin console. Now that you have started the service, now you can actually check the logs to see the port number. So if you just go to this app server logs server 1, and then the system.log, it will show you the port number. So just come to the bottom of it. And if you go a bit high, you're going to see the WC admin port number and the default port number. The admin port number is for browsing the admin console, and default one for the browsing the application. So we will use the HTTP one. I think HTTPS has expired, I guess. So this needs to be renewed. So because it's been like, it expires on 28th January. So we still have time. So we can renew the certificate as well. We'll talk about it later. So let's just go over here and type in our IP address of the system. So the IP address of the system is this one over there. So http:// and then 9067/IBM/console. So just want to verify if this is the port number. 9064, sorry. Okay, so now let's log into this VAS admin console. So now we have completed the first few steps in towards regaining access to your application server. So now this is a default application server on your WebSphere network deployment for a standalone profile. Well, so for covering this particular topic, you're gonna have all these action items in this particular server itself, so you don't have to worry about uh, a production domain or anything like that. So let's go understand about the logs. Let's see what are the different options we have in terms of the logging configuration. Now the logs would be available under that specific JVM. So if you just go to the application service over here, you have the name of the JVM. This is common in case of using a standalone profile or application server profile, or when you're using a DMG or console. This is a standard process. Once you select the server, you're going to have a list of options on the right side, which you can work with. Now, one of the options we're going to use is basically on the troubleshooting section over here, logging and tracing. So this is the first option which you need to have or to understand about the logging and tracing in terms of problem determination. The topic problem determination is all about understanding the problem and resolving the problem once you have understood it. Now, the way you understand a problem is by going through a JVM log. I'm going to show you the different ways of going through that. So let's just go first via the troubleshooting and then log and tracing. Once you're in the logging and tracing, there is something called HPEL, which we will talk later. I'll create a separate session for HPEL, how to enable that and how to work with HPCL. Now, we will talk about, there are different types of logs over here. We will talk one by one in detail, and we will try to understand what these different options meaning. The first thing I want to check is the JVM log. Now, JVM log is a very important log wherein which we found out the server started up and is there any exceptions in the server in terms of servlet initialization. So I've accessed the admin console, right? So you can see that the servlet is executed here, and this is the application which it has run. So this is an internal application which is designed by IBM for your admin console. All right, so let's just go back to the browser and click on the JVM logs. Now, JVM logs is one of the important logs, and these are the two logs which is already available over here. Now, you can see that this logs which you are presented with, you can modify, or you can view or modify the settings of a JVM, system out.log and system error.log for managing, for a managed process here. The JVM logs are created by redirecting the system out.log and system error.log streams of the JVM to independent log files. The system out.log is used to monitor the health of the running application server, and system error.log is used for understanding the log contents in terms of exceptions, tags, traces information that is used for problem analysis. Once you have the JVM log exist for your application server and all of its applications. So this is a default logs which is going to be enabled by default, though the configuration of the file size, time, the maximum number of historical logs will all can be modified at a point of time. Changes onto this configuration applies when you restart the server. So do remember that you need to restart the server to take all these changes into effect. There are also another way of doing this without a restart by doing it on the runtime. Now, when you do the changes on the runtime, these changes is going to be impacted immediately. But as you can see, there's not a lot of items which you can change over here on runtime. So do remember that. So here, let's try to modify this size over here from 1 to 3 MB. 1 to 3 MB over here. Now, what this means is that the file size of a specific file, which is the system error.log and system out.log, is increased from 1 MB to 3 MB right now. Okay. So this means that you're going to have 3 MB of a file size on your file size for this particular files. In terms of the maximum historical files, let's just modify it to 2. So what this means, it will have 3 MB files, and then it will replace it when a new file is created, and it will create it for 3 MB. So in this way, you will have a bigger file size with a less number of files to be listed. So it will be easy for you to manage, but it's completely up to you how you want to do this. All right, so now hit the OK button, review, Save. Once you have done that, you're back to the home screen. Now what you can do is like you can view one of those logs. Now let's just try to understand how to view your logs. So your current logs can be viewed in the runtime section. Sorry about that. The current logs can be viewed at the runtime session. So when you click on the runtime, you will be able to see the general properties over here, out of which you can see the system out.log and system error.log. Now you can have the option of choosing a current time frame over here where you will get the logs on the current time frame. But you can also choose the general system out.log and click on view. Now, rather than viewing the log from here, you can also view the log from this angle as well, where you can actually see the entire log of that particular log can be seen over here. So you can see that the last one was like the server1 server.xml is modified, and you can see the same thing as well over here. Server1 XML is modified. The latest update has come here, but it has not come. You can go and fetch the latest information by clicking on the log one more time in the runtime section. So you will see the latest update over here, initialization successful. So likewise, you will be able to find the logs or view the logs from the admin console. So you don't have to really go to the command line to view the same. You can do the same thing for the error log as well. So when you click on view, you will actually see the error stack over here. So this is error stacks. So this is one error stack, and then it has like a lot of information around that. And then you have few more over here. So now this is pretty much your log file or how to view your existing log files. Now there's one more option in terms of log files as well. So this will be very easy for you to do it. So by default, the retrieval of lines in when it retrieves a line, it will only give you like 250 lines. But you can actually specify a range of lines which you want to see. For example, here I want to select only 22. I'm sorry, hyphen 50. So when I do that, so you will get the line numbers between that range so that you can actually customize the retrieval line numbers rather than giving you the full information. It will only give you the specific information you need. All right, guys. So now that we understood the JVM logs, let's talk about one more logs in this video before we close this video. We'll talk about something called IBM service log. Now, what's the use of IBM service log? Well, IBM service log is going to give you extra information than what the services which is currently being, or application service which is currently being used, or the log output as in your system out.log. Plus, it's also going to give you extra information towards your IBM services. Now, if you're finding some issue and you think that this is related to a node agent or a specific IBM service, where you want to troubleshoot that with the IBM support assistant, which we will talk later. Now, when you want to do such analysis or when you want to work with that such kind of a issue, then we need to enable service log, IBM service log. So when you just go over here to the service, and you will see something called IBM service log over here. Now this needs to be enabled, and it is actually called as activity.log. Now this activity.log is going to help you in terms of identifying the service related issues in terms of IBM service log, which is maintained in binary format, which means that you cannot actually understand what is written in this. The only thing which can understand this log is your IBM support assistant. So that can actually identify what is written in this activity log. So just enable this log by selecting this option over here, which means that it is going to save all the diagnostics information about your IBM services in this log. So click on OK. And this also requires a restart for this to take effect. So we have totally made two changes over here. Unfortunately, there is no runtime over here. So this is something which you cannot, change on the runtime. So it does require restart. So now we have made these two activities over here. Now let's talk in detail about what is this IBM service log contains. It contains application server messages that are written into system.out stream, and special messages that contains extended service information that you can use to analyze a problem. One service log exists in all JVMs on a node, including the application servers and their node agents. It presents a separate activity log is created for for deployment manager in the log directory. The IBM service log is maintained in binary format, and this is something which you should know, that the only way to analyze it, log analyzing or show log tools, which is part of your IBM service log tools. So IBM support assistant will be able to help you out in that situation. Now do remember that this is a log which gets stored as part of the system out log location. So let's just do a quick restart over here. So I'm just stopping server 1, which will also turn off the console as well. And then I'll quickly start the service as well. Start server 1. Let's just wait for it. Let me pause the video. All right, guys, so the service is started now. So let's just refresh the console. I've just logged into the console, and you can see that I've enabled the service log, and you can see that it's enabled by default. So you just go over here, go folder back to the server name. I'm sorry, I think I got into the wrong folder. Yeah, so go to logs folder, server 1. And in here, you should be finding the, yeah, you won't be finding it. Sorry about that. So it will not be in this location, because if you check the WebSphere variables, right, if you go to environments and go to WebSphere variables, you will find the variable for this one. And here you search for log root, star log underscore root. I'm sorry, RWOT. Now, when you click on this log root, you basically see that it's installed under your user install root and logs. So when you understand what is user installed root, you will see OPT IBM WebSphere application server profile app server 01/logs. Okay, so that is a location where this log will store, because if you go inside the server, go to IBM service log, you will see that it is going inside log root and saving inside the activity log. So that is the reason why you're not finding it over here, because you are not in the log root. The log root is this folder. So if you just go one folder down and then do a ls-ltr, you will see the activity log. So when you do the tail right, you will not understand this because it is saved in the binary format. You can see there are certain lot of words over here which is not understandable, right? You can understand the majority of things, but then it is not aligned, or it is not something which is convenient for you to read and understand, because this log is for log analyzers like the support assistant. So you will not be able to make sense of what it is, what is written over here. All right, guys, thank you again. Now you understood there's 2 different types of logs, how to view the logs from the console as well, and how to change some details about the logs. Okay. On the next video, we will see HPEL, and I will talk more on that in the next video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.